Hello and welcome to Sun and Moon Yoga's YouTube channel. I am Annie Moyer, and this short practice is called Taking Sides. We're going to focus on stretching the side body, and there are lots of good reasons to do this practice to open up the sides of the body. One good reason is that we have an abundance of proprioceptors all up and down the sides of the body, and then particularly into the feet. And the proprioceptors are part of our sense receptor system that allows us to know where we are in space, even when we can't see with our eyes. Eyes geared forward and a little bit peripherally, but we have a sense of what's around us. And this is built into the ability to balance and also to keep ourselves safe. We are also really well served by a flexible sideline on each ends of the torso and the legs and the arms by allowing us more functionality and freedom of movement. So if we are only ever focused on the core, on the central column, then we get really strong. And when we get really strong, we get really rigid. And so supple potential is living in the sides of the body. It's also really helpful to be able to allow the lungs to expand circumferentially. So if there's reception in the sides, to allow the rib cage to puff out on all sides and at all angles, then we breathe better. And furthermore, just philosophically, you can think of all kinds of ways in our just everyday language that sides are a good thing. So we can stand by someone's side when they are suffering, when times are hard. To stand by someone's side is an act of service and love. We can sidestep danger when we sense it. We can enjoy entrees with lots of good, delicious sides. Sideburns, always fun. And if you're wondering if I'm suggesting that a yogi might take sides in a political discussion or argument or movement, I'm on the side of yes, especially if it's the righteous side that seeks to heal past harms and to reduce present moment suffering among those who need that support the most. So, namaste. Welcome to the practice. Let's get started. Come to your mat and lie down on your back. And stretch your arms out way back behind you so you feel lots of space, lots of potential for opening, lots of room for breath. And just take a few breaths here while you lie on your back. And if you attend to the reach through the pinkies on each hand, then you are in fact stretching the sides of your body. The side lines are being encouraged to lengthen. Take a couple breaths. And on the next exhale, bring one knee into the chest. Curl up, forehead gently drawing toward the knee. Lie back, stretch up that lifted leg. Press all the way up through the heel. Reach your same side arm up. And then on a long inhale, reach the arm and the leg away from each other and lay them on the ground, intentionally far apart with a long side opening. And then do the same thing on the other leg. Pull the knee in, curl the forehead toward the knee, And then lie back and take the same side arm, reach it up to the ceiling, press up through the heel of the lifted leg, and then slowly inhale, reach them long and far away from each other. Linger in that side, stretching, and then release the arm down by your side. Turn your head a few times to the left and to the right. And then inhale, both arms reach behind you and make a parenthesis mark shape with your body. So slide your legs over to one side and then curl your upper body and your arms over to the same side. So there's a long arc from your feet to your hands, all the way up through the fingertips. Linger there for a couple of breaths. And then come back to center and over to the other side. Same thing, long parenthesis mark. And then back to center. And then bring your arms down by your sides and bend your knees. And then side walk your feet over to one edge of the mat. Keep your knees pointing straight up to the ceiling. And then lift your arm up by the side of your head, curl it over. Stay on your back, so keep both shoulders are level on the floor. And you'll feel a continuing side body stretch, turning your head away from the raised arm. Long, slow breath, expanding into the side of the rib cage that you've opened up and made available. And then back to center. And then side walk your feet to the other edge of the mat. Raise the other arm, curl it over your head, turn your head away from the raised arm. Long, slow breaths. Feel the breath expanding into the side that you've opened up. And then back to center and release your arm down. Now separate your feet as wide as the mat so each foot is standing on its own edge. And then simply rock your knees from side to side, turning your head opposite. And linger to one side and feel the long sideline from your knee that's on top, all the way up across the side of the hip, the side of the torso, to the shoulder. And then go and linger on the other side. And then come back up to center. Feel free to rock the knees a couple more times. And now roll over onto one side. So you can prop your head up with your hand just to get steady. Glance down the front plane of the body so you have a long, even line that goes straight to the base of the ankles, and have your feet flexed strongly. So you're pressing out firmly through the heels. This will help you stay steady on your side. And then drop your bottom arm so you're laying your head on it like a pillow. Raise the other arm, reach through the fingertips, reach all the way down the body to the heels. And now take your top leg, bend the knee so you're kicking your heel back, and then lift the foot a little bit higher than your hip. And now take your top arm, sweep it up to the ceiling, keep your palm open, and then start to lower your arm so now your palm becomes a platter. And drop the arm behind your back, behind the foot, you may notice that you could lay your ankle or your heel on the platter of your hand, and you may notice that they don't touch each other, and that's fine. Either way, you're stretching the top knee, the bent knee, back a little bit behind you, and you're perched on your bottom side that is steady and supportive. Another breath. And then release your arm, straighten the leg, roll over onto your belly, and then come over onto your other side. So again, start with your head in your hand and your legs nice and straight down the plane of your body, the front plane, an even plane that goes from your top of your sternum down to the base of your ankles. Get yourself steady there. And then release your head onto your arm, stretching out through the bottom fingers. Take your top arm up and over and stretch. Nice breath. And then bend the knee, kick the heel behind you of the top leg, and then lift the foot up. Peek it up a little bit above the top hip. Take the top arm, reach it up, 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 up. Keep the palm wide open, and as the arm lowers, the palm becomes a platter, perhaps to place the foot. And if you know it's there, but you're not quite sure, take a peek. Otherwise, just understand that your heel and your open platter palm are moving toward each other. Whether they touch or not is irrelevant. Long, slow breaths. You can also always prop up your head again in your hand if that feels more supported, more stable. The action of the bent knee on top is reaching backwards, so you're opening up the front of the hip. And you may feel some engagement on the outer thigh. So we're opening the side body and we are engaging and strengthening it. And then release. And then roll onto your belly and slowly bring yourself up to table pose. And I'm going to turn around so I'm facing you. You can face the short side of your mat. And from table pose, take one leg, kickstand it out to the side, lay the inner edge of the foot down, and then center the other side hand and open up the arm so your heart turns toward the sky, but the hips are turning down toward the floor, as is the belly. So the opening of the side body also allows for a little more freedom in the twist that we initiate from the base of the rib cage. So we don't twist in the belly or in the low back. We twist from the mid-spine up. Now, as the vertebrae in the spine get smaller and smaller, as they rise closer and closer to the neck, they are more and more capable of rotating. And then release. Back to table pose, kickstand the other leg out. Center the other side hand, and then raise the arm, turning the ribs, the heart, the chest, and the gaze up to the side. Long, slow, easy breaths. And on the exhale, as you're ready, release the arm down. Now, kickstand the first side again. This time, lift up with the toes, pivot on the back of the heel so the toes are pointing to the ceiling. And then walk yourself up so you're kneeling on this one knee. And then the straight leg can point the toes out to the side. They don't have to touch. My foot is not flat on the floor. It doesn't need to be. Take the arms out wide. Reach over toward the straight leg side, lifting the other arm and reaching the arm over the side of the head for gate pose. And as the hips angle that direction toward the corner of the straight leg side of your mat, then you can turn the heart, the ribs, the chest up in the opposite direction to create a small twist as the side line is lengthening. And then slowly undo, arms out wide, flex the foot, turn the toes forward, and then bring the knee back to center and take the other leg out. Point the toes and reach down the straight leg side, lifting the other arm up and over the head. Gate pose, second side, long, slow breaths. Notice the differential in the angles, the pelvis angling in the corner direction of the straight leg side, and the heart, the chest, the ribs angling up and away. And then release and come up and flex the ankle, turn the toes forward, gather up the knees, come back to table pose. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And then lift one leg up, reach it behind you, look underneath the arm of the open side, and breathe. Three-legged dog. Bend the lifted leg, kick up the knee a little higher, emphasizing a little more of a twist. And then level the hips as you're lifting both sides of the pelvis away from the floor. Put the back leg, the lifted leg down, and then other leg comes up. Turn a little bit with the chest, look under the arm, lift the hip, bend the lifted leg, kick the knee up a little higher, a little extra oomph for another breath. And then both legs down, and then come to table pose again. Kickstand, I'm going to turn and face the camera. Kickstand one leg out again. And this time, tuck the back toes. Walk your hands a little bit forward as you take the hips a little bit back. And release the head, the neck, the jaw. A side stepped child's pose. And then come back up. Bring the knee back in. Take the other leg out to the side. The back foot, toes tucked. Drop the hips back. Any amount is correct. Dropping the head, the chest, releasing the neck and the jaw. And then come back up. Both knees down now, table pose. And come to downward facing dog again. And then come high up on the toes and walk your feet forward and roll up to stand. Palms together at the heart. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Lifting, lifting, lifting. Reach over to one side as you're rooting down on the opposite foot. Back up to center. Over to the other side, rooting down on the opposite foot. Back up to center. Hands together at the heart. We did that side lying dancer pose, and now we're going to do it standing up. So if you want to go by a wall or a piece of furniture to give you a little extra support for balance, that's fine. Standing on both legs, strongly rooting down, anchoring through the outer edges of the feet, lifting through the inner lines of the legs all the way into the groins. Shift all of your weight now onto one foot. Lift the other knee up in front of you to start with. Flex the foot and then slide the knee down as the heel kicks up behind you. Remember when you were on your side, the heel lifted up away from the hip. Same thing here. Take the lifted arm, reach it out to the side, open up your palm like a platter, take it underneath your ankle. If you grab the ankle, that's great. If they're just reaching in each other's direction, that's also great. And you can take the other arm up and breathe. Be careful of a knee that starts to reach out sideways. See if you can hug the midline and reach it back. And then release. And then set both feet down and pause for a moment. And then shift onto the other foot. Lift the knee up in front of you to start. Flex the foot. And then take the lifted knee and slide it down, 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 and back behind you. Raise the arm. Take it out to the side. Make a platter with your palm. And start to reach the hand and the foot in each other's direction. Notice the knee that wants to splay out. Hug it in and slide it back. And then reach the other arm. And then slowly release. Now take your feet out nice and wide. And take your arms out nice and wide. Turn your feet to one side. Bend the knee of the side that you're reaching on. Lean over, elbow on your thigh. Take your top arm up and over the side of your head. And reach into side angle pose. Long, slow breaths and feel that top side line really stretching from fingertips back down to foot. All that open space available for your breath, for your awareness, for your ability to be in the world intentionally. And then come back up, rise up, release your arms, straighten the front leg, and then strategically shift your feet to the other side. Bend the knee, arms out wide, reaching out to the side, drop the elbow onto the thigh, take the other arm up and over, reaching, reaching, reaching through the fingertips. All that space creating, all that potential, all that awareness and intention, living in the parts of the body that we can so easily neglect. Open them up here. Breathe life into that whole side line. And then take the arm up Press into the feet, rise up, turn the feet forward. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward all the way down through center. Hold on anywhere on the sides of your legs, from the outer thighs, the outer shins, outer ankles, anywhere you like. Hang your head. Breathe your breaths in and out. And then lift up just a little bit and make a plan to get your feet together again. And then come down to sit with your feet out in front of you. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, reach forward, lengthening out from both sides. So think of it as if the stretch, the fold starts in the sides of your hips and expresses itself all the way up and out. And then come back up slowly and take the legs out wide. Feet flexed, perky toes pointing up to the sky. Take one arm up and then reach it sideways. Let the pelvis turn and start to angle in the direction that you're reaching with the arm. But instead of folding straight forward over that leg, turn the heart, the ribs up. And if there's any strain in your lower back, particularly on the side that you're folding to, let the pelvis turn a little more. Pause for a breath, and then see about turning up the ribs and the heart. And then come back up. Slowly, carefully, pause at center and take the other arm up, reaching through the fingertips, and then let the pelvis turn a little at an angle. Start to reach over the sideways direction of your leg, and then perk the heart up. One side may, probably will feel easier than the other. And then slowly rise back up to center. Gather up your legs. Come to a simple cross-legged seat. And if you'd like to take some time to lie down and relax, that's always a good idea. Otherwise, sitting for a few moments of quiet, centered breath. And bring your palms together. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.